Hello friends, welcome to a new episode of Dishti IAS editorial analysis. In this editorial analysis, we do three things. First of all, we link the editorial to the UPSC syllabus. Secondly, we try to understand the key points of the editorial. And thirdly, we also look at the key concepts that have come in the editorial and are important from exam point of view. So let us begin today's editorial analysis. We have taken today's editorial from the Hindu and it has appeared on 13th of May. The title of the editorial is Perilous State, and it says that the center needs to help the states financially so that they can fight the virus better. So we find that it directly links with GS paper 2, where we have functions and responsibilities of the union and the states, issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure, devolution of powers and finances up to local levels and challenges therein. So after establishing this linkage with the UPSC syllabus, now let us look at the key points of the editorial. The editorial starts by saying that the state finances are in a very bad shape. And this is the case with every single state without exception, though the degree of problem that the states are facing may vary across states. So the state governments across India, they have been facing financial difficulties. And if we take just the example of two states, Delhi and Karnataka, their revenues have dropped sharply. In Delhi, the state government said that in April 2019, they had a revenue of rupees 3,500 crores. And in April 2020, they could manage just 300 crores. Similarly, for a state like Karnataka, almost 12,000 crores is the monthly revenue. And in the month of April, when the lockdown was in full force, it could generate only revenues of 300 crores. So these two examples point out what difficulties the state governments are facing in dealing with the lockdown. Editorial further says that the COVID-19 induced lockdown has dealt state finances triple blow. And what are these triple blows? So first of all, their own revenue sources. And for that, they were mainly relying on liquor sales, stamp duties from property transactions, and sales tax on petroleum products, which accounted for half of their total revenues, have now simply collapsed. That is one of the main reasons why the state governments have been asking the central government to relax liquor sales, because it is one of the major revenue for the state governments. Secondly, the expenditure has remained the same because it is on account of interest payments, social sector schemes, and staff salaries, which has remained unchanged during this lockdown. And thirdly, due to this COVID-19 measures, which include testing, treatment, quarantining, and also shoring up their health infrastructure, that has also required the state governments to spend more. And that is why their finances have gone for a toss. And these financial issues are not just with the poor states, but it also includes the highly industrialized states such as Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka, which are now pleading the center for funding support and also for relaxation in borrowing rules by the RBI. Now, here RBI has a system called Ways and Means Advances. This we'll see in the key concept section. And through this Ways and Means Advances, the central and state governments can borrow money from the RBI. Now, some states have also gone ahead and cut salaries of their employees and pension benefits to rein in the expenses. And here we have the example of Kerala government, which initially issued an order which was stayed by the High Court for deferment of salaries of the staff. And when it was stayed by the High Court, they have gone ahead and issued an ordinance which has been allowed by the courts. So a progressive state like Kerala, it also had to undertake this deferment of salaries because of the strained finances. Now, on the one hand, the state governments are wanting that the center should relax the lockdown conditions and should also help them with financial resources to meet the challenge of COVID-19. But on the other hand, the state governments are seeking consecutive extensions of the lockdown, which has imposed tremendous strain not on just their finances but also that of the center. So the blame for this continuing lockdown should fall on the center or on those states which are seeking extensions and simultaneously demanding financial support from the center. And is it the easy option to seek extensions of lockdown? Because what the government must be doing is testing more rather than seeking for more extension of the lockdown. Because lockdown was just to buy time to get your act in order, to shore up the healthcare facilities, to get the ventilators in place, to make people aware about the dangers of COVID-19 and how they should follow certain basic hygiene and social distancing to keep this disease away. So all these things should have been done by now. And now the government should not go for any more extension of the lockdown because it is extracting a heavy price from the economy. Now states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Maharashtra, they commenced liquor sales with outlets flouting all physical distancing norms, which could see fresh infections. So this is a problem that the state governments, they want the resources, but at the same time they also need to take the responsibility for making sure you can give relaxation to certain activities which can also generate revenue for you. But at the same time, you should not allow the public to violate the basic norms which are needed to fight against COVID 19. Because if the infection spreads more, then more stringent lockdown would be needed and it will continue for a long time. So the responsibility falls on the state governments to make sure that this does not happen. Now the center's financial position is also not that great. The only good thing about center's financial position is that it has the means to replenish its finances through conventional as well as unconventional means. For instance, it appropriated almost all of the benefit of falling oil prices through increase in duties of rupees 13 a litre on petrol and rupees 16 a litre on diesel. And also the center has announced an increase in its borrowing by half for this fiscal year. So the center is in a better position than the states to increase its finances, and it can always ask RBI to print more money and monetize its fiscal deficit, though it is not a very prudent step. But in difficult times, the center always has these options open. It can also relax the fiscal deficit limit of 3.5% set under the FRBM. So the center is better placed, but still its finances are also not in that great shape because of the economy being in a standstill. At the same time, it is center's responsibility to find the resources to immediately release the dues of the states and also reimburse them for their COVID-19 related expenses. And this is very important because the states are fighting on the front line and they need all support and help from the central government. And the center should seriously consider relaxing the fiscal deficit levels of the states from the current 3% level to at least 4.5%. And also it should relax its own levels too, because this is a very difficult situation. Also, the states should be allowed to borrow more as well as given the freedom to restart economic activity based on their own assessment. And this is needed because not all states are in the same virus spread position. So there are a lot of interstate differences when we talk about the spread of COVID-19. So states which are having less virus spread and virus infection, they should be allowed to open up that much faster. Also within each state, not all districts are having the same virus spread. So this also needs to be taken into account, and maybe some portion of the states need to be opened up faster. So here we can look at the case of Delhi, where the entire state has been declared a red zone, and the Delhi government has been asking that we should have a differentiation of containment zones and rest of the city, because otherwise it's very difficult for the economic activities to revive, and without any economic activity the revenues will simply be not there for the state government to spend on the public health needs, and it will only compound the problems for the state government. So these two factors, that not all states are in the same virus spread position, as well as within each state also there are differences in the virus load in various districts. These should be the basis while planning a phase lifting of the lockdown. Finally, the editorial makes the point that greater leeway, that means greater freedom in restarting economic activity, will relieve some of the financial stress, not just on the states but also on the center. Because when the economic activities are totally shut, it is not just the state governments are suffering, but the finances of the central government are also strained. Here we need to understand that the onus of fighting COVID-19 lies both with the center and the states, as they are equal stakeholders. But because state governments are at the front lines, they need more resources and more support from the center. And also because health is a state subject, so it requires more intervention and more effort on the part of the state governments. So these were the key points in the editorial. Now let us look at the key concepts. In concepts to learn, we'll look at the Finance Commission, RBI's Ways and Means Advances mechanism, and some important infographic. Let us look at Finance Commission. So Finance Commission comes under Article 280 of the Constitution, and this is a very important fact from prelims point of view. And this Article 280 provides for a quasi-judicial body, which is the Finance Commission, and it is constituted by the President after every 5th year or at such earlier time as he considers necessary. The recommendations made by the Finance Commission are only advisory in nature and hence not binding on the government. The latest Finance Commission is the 15th Finance Commission. It is headed by N.K. Singh, and it is going to give its recommendations for the period 2020 to 2025. The role of the Commission is also to lay down rules by which the center should provide grants in aid to states out of the Consolidated Fund of India, and it is also required to suggest measures to augment the resources of states and ways to supplement the resources of panchayats and municipalities. Here we should know that 14th Finance Commission, which was for the period 2015 to 2020, it had recommended an increase in devolution of central taxes to states from 32% to 42%. So this is important and we should know this. And the argument behind this increase was basically that the need to give greater control over development expenditure to state governments. So because development is the primary responsibility of the state governments, so to push this development expenditure, this increase was recommended by the 14th Finance Commission and accepted by the government. Now let us look at the RBI's WMA mechanism. So under Section 17 Clause 5 of RBI Act 1934, it provides ways and means advances to the central and state or UT governments. It is a temporary liquidity arrangement with the central bank. So it is basically for liquidity, and it enables the center and states to borrow money up to 90 days from the RBI to tide over their liquidity mismatch between inflow of revenues and outflow of expenditure. A higher limit would provide the government flexibility to raise funds from RBI without borrowing them from the market. And WMA is not a security as it is not tradable. So it is just a facility being provided by RBI for any liquidity mismatch. Interest rate for WMA is currently charged at the repo rate. The limits for WMA are mutually decided by the RBI and the Government of India. And recently some developments have taken place. So the Government of India has increased the ceiling of WMA with RBI by 60% to rupees 1.20 lakh crore from earlier 75,000 crore to tide over the cash flow mismatch in financial year 2021 expected from higher spending to combat the spread of COVID-19. And RBI has constituted an advisory committee chaired by Shri Sudhir Srivastav to review the WMA limits for states and UTs. And in the meanwhile, it has increased their WMA limit by 30%. Now let us look at the state government's finances, how the states are getting the resources. Through this infograph, we can understand why the state government finances have taken such a big hit due to the lockdown. So if we see the state's total resources, then we find that the major chunk of 46% is by state's own tax revenue, 26% from state's share in central taxes, 20% from grants, 8% from non-tax revenues. And what is the non-tax revenue components for state governments? So under the non-tax revenues of state government, we have the borrowings, we have the royalty from mines and forests, and we have the income from state PSUs and state properties. So here we can see that the tax revenue of states basically depends on petroleum products, stamp duties on property transactions, motor vehicle tax, and most importantly, liquor sales. So during this lockdown, only the petroleum products were being sold, but due to the stringent lockdown, not many people were venturing out. So there were less number of vehicles on the roads. So less sales of petroleum products. So this was giving some revenue to the state governments, but not to that extent which they normally get. The stamp duties collection, because property transactions were next to nil, so it was negligible. Also the motor vehicles tax, because not many vehicles were coming on road, not many people were able to buy vehicles. So all these source of revenues was also negligible. And most importantly, the liquor sales, because there was total lockdown, so people were not able to buy liquor. So the state government revenues was suffering. And these items account for 90% of the own tax revenues of the state government. So this is a very big figure, and that is why the state finances are in a very difficult position now. So due to lockdown, the state finances have suffered, no doubt about it. But there are other problem areas as well, that the state governments have not been very prudent in handling their financial resources. And at times, they have been accused of using public resources to build political capital instead of human capital. So human capital is built when the governments spend on education, when they spend on health, when they spend on skill development of people. So all these expenditures develop the human capital of the state. But the state governments are more than happy or more interested in spending on political capital. So how they do that? So they do that through farm loan waivers. They do that through providing subsidies which are non-merit subsidies. Sometimes providing free electricity, etc. So it may differ from case to case basis, but the point is that many a times the state governments have been looking to increase the political capital and not focus on the human capital. And that is also one of the major reasons for the poor performance or the poor state of state government's finances. So that should not be overlooked in this whole issue. So this was all in today's editorial discussion. Now let us look at the kind of questions that can be asked in PT or mains. So in PT we can be asked about ways and means advances. What is this mechanism? What kind of interest rate is charged? So it is based on the repo rate. Then you can be asked about Finance Commission, which article, headed by whom. So Mr. N.K. Singh is currently heading it, and it is under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution, and it is constituted after every 5 years or as the President may desire. And then you can also be asked about the fiscal deficit targets for the state governments. So it is 3% of the gross state domestic product. And in mains, one can be asked about Finance Commission and its role in deciding the devolution of share of taxes between the center and the states. Also, one can be asked about the dismal state of finances of the state governments and what steps can be taken, plus what reasons are there for this dismal state. And also the role of GST can come into the picture, that whether GST has also affected the finances of the state governments. So these are the kind of questions that you should be prepared on for mains. So this was all in today's editorial analysis. See you next time with another editorial.